So, you're thinking of buying a house this year, but you don't know where to start. The answer is start with the small steps you can tackle right now. This video will give you three things you can do this very week that'll get you on track to buy a home by the end of the year. If you want to buy a house this year or even next year, especially if this is your first home, you're probably asking yourself, where do I start? You don't have to worry about deciphering all the mortgage papers and a huge down payment, not right now. Here are 3 steps you can take right now to ensure your success. First, check your credit. The credit is key to the home buying ability. The higher the credit score, the lower the mortgage rate, and the bigger the budget. Here's how your credit affects your mortgage. They go in ranges. Depending on the range, depends upon the mortgage rate you're going to get. Check your credit at least 6 months in advance. It gives you time to flag any errors on your credit report and help improve your score if it need be. So how do you check your credit report? By law, you're entitled to a free annual credit report from all 3 major credit bureaus once a year. If you haven't used yours recently, go over to annualcreditreport.com and pull that. By the way, this is the only government-mandated site that gives you free, no strings attached credit report. Getting your credit report takes just a few minutes. Once you have it in your hand, there's a few things you'll want to look for. First, you want to look for any errors or suspicious activity. Is there anything wrong with your name, address, any accounts, or any of your balances? Are there cards or credit lines you don't recognize? Late payments that you paid on time? Report these errors to the issuing bureau ASAP. It could be a sign you've been a victim of identity theft, and they could be hurting your credit score too. Overdue accounts. If there are any accounts marked late, overdue, or in collections, take steps to settle those as quickly as possible. Payment history plays a huge role in your overall credit score, so address these issues fast is critical. Missing accounts. Are there any accounts, credit cards, lines of credit that aren't showing up? If you're current on your payments with them, then contact the credit bureau and make sure that they start to show up on your credit report. Even your rent. You've been paying your rent on time, have it be on your credit report. It could give your credit a boost, especially if you've had that line for quite a while. Keep in mind it often takes 6 months or more to fix credit issues. So if you see something wrong, report it right away. Let the bureau know and be ready to have evidence to back up your claim. 2, determine what you can afford. After checking your credit, you may be wondering, can I even afford to buy a house? Getting an answer to that question is the next step. Before going any further, you'll need to figure out what you can comfortably afford given your income, existing debt, and any expenses you have. For many people, the monthly mortgage payment around their current rent price is ideal. To get a good pulse on what you can afford, check a mortgage calculator and click on the Buy Income tab, which I've linked down in the description below. This lets you enter your income, current debt, location, and other details to determine what home price and monthly payment you are most comfortably affording. Once you've determined a price point, compare that to home prices in your desired area. Check Realtor.com's Market Trends tool, which I've also linked down in the description, to get a feel of the price trends in your area. There's even a heat map that lets you separate the higher cost markets from the lower cost ones, so you can hone in on the communities that best suit your budget. If it's looking like the price point won't work for the location you're seeking, you might need to tighten your belt a little bit, stash away some extra cash, or maybe you might want to look at alternatives. For instance, maybe you buy in a low cost market outside of your ideal area for your first home. Or you could think about purchasing a smaller property, like a townhouse or a condo, instead of that single family home. If your budget already measures up to the home prices in your desired area, then you're on track and start looking at financing options. Third is to make a savings plan for your down payment. The down payment is probably your biggest concern if you hope to buy a house this year, and for good reason. Your down payment impacts not only your home buying options, but also how affordable the house is in the long term. And here's a simple fact: you don't need 20% down to buy a house. How much do I need to save for a down payment? You just need to know how much house you can afford. So refer to that mortgage calculator once again. Let's look at an example scenario. Say you make $75,000 a year and you have a few $1,000s in savings already. By the way, getting a tax refund, that money can jumpstart your savings. And you're looking to buy a home maybe in the $300,000 range sometime in the next year or two. Here's what your savings plan will look like. 5% down, you'll need to save $1,500 a month, maybe for the next 15 months, and then you'll be in a home by the end of the year. If you want 10% down, you'll need to save about $2,000 from now for the next 15 months. However, an FHA loan only requires 3.5% down. You'll need to save $875 a month for the next 12 months. Down payments don't just come from savings though. With most mortgage loans, you can use down payment gifts to cover some or all of the costs. There are also down payment assistance programs that can help with first-time home buyers. A side note, not all mortgages require down payments. These aren't the only steps you need to buy a house this year, but they will put you on track towards success. So if you start planning now, increase your savings, and keep your finances in check, a new home could very well be in your future soon. I'm Kimberly DiPrima, a realtor here in the Fox Valley area of Chicago's Western Burbs with Option Realty Group. And if you're interested in all things real estate in the Fox Valley area, click the subscribe button below. Thank you for watching. See you next week and you have a great day.